All right, so we've got this whole stack of research about natural healing,
Yeah.
and you seem really interested in how these natural approaches can work with like more
hmm
traditional treatments.
You're exactly right. It's such a cool area to really get into.
Yeah.
And we could look at, what happens when some of these common ailments are left untreated.
Right.
And then we can unpack, some natural strategies for just, supporting your well-being. Ultimately, it's about equipping you with the knowledge
Yeah.
to make the best choices for your health.
I like that. I noticed a lot of your research focused on diabetes,
Yeah,
which makes sense. I mean, it's so prevalent now.
it is.
And I'm curious, from your reading, did anything stand out about managing blood sugar naturally?
Yeah. What's interesting is that even though most people understand the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes,
Right.
they don't always grasp the serious complications that can happen if either type isn't managed well.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I mean, we know uncontrolled diabetes can lead to problems,
Yeah.
but maybe we need that reminder about just how serious they can be.
Exactly. We're talking about long-term damage to nerves,
Right.
which can cause neuropathy with tingling and numbness, especially in your hands and feet.
Hmm.
And then there's the impact on blood vessels, potentially leading to vision problems from diabetic retinopathy,
Wow.
and even raising the risk of heart attacks and strokes.
That's serious. It's definitely a wake-up call to take blood sugar management seriously.
Yeah.
I also noticed your research went beyond conventional treatments, delving into natural approaches.
Yeah.
So what piqued your interest there?
Well, for both type 1 and type 2 diabetes,
Mm-hmm.
while medication and insulin therapy might be necessary,
Right.
the power of lifestyle changes, particularly diet, just can't be overstated. It's fascinating how impactful those changes can be.
Okay, so let's talk diet.
Okay.
We know the basics, low glycemic, high fiber. But were there any specific strategies or foods that jumped out at you from your research?
You probably already know to load up on non-starchy veggies, lean proteins, and healthy fats.
Mm.
But there's some really exciting research emerging about spices and supplements.
Okay.
Did you know that something as common as cinnamon can actually help improve insulin sensitivity?
I have heard that,
Yeah.
but I've always been a little skeptical.
Yeah.
Is there any real science behind it?
There actually is quite a bit of research.
Wow.
Cinnamon contains a compound that appears to mimic the action of insulin,
Mm-hmm.
helping your cells use glucose more effectively.
Hmm.
And even small amounts, like a teaspoon a day,
Really?
can make a difference.
That's pretty impressive for something I already have in my pantry.
Right.
Were there any other natural approaches that stood out in your reading?
Another spice,
Okay.
fenugreek, has also shown promise.
Okay.
It seems to slow down carbohydrate absorption, preventing those rapid blood sugar spikes after meals.
Okay.
And then there's berberine, a compound found in plants like barberry and golden seal,
Right.
which is being studied for its ability to lower blood sugar and improve insulin sensitivity.
Those are some intriguing options to look into.
Yeah,
Now, we can't talk about diabetes management without mentioning exercise.
right.
So what did your research reveal about the role of physical activity?
Well, you already know that when you exercise,
Right.
your muscles use glucose for energy,
Sure.
which helps lower blood sugar levels.
Yeah.
But here's something that might surprise you.
Oh, yeah.
Even short bursts of high-intensity exercise, like sprinting or jumping jacks,
Yeah.
can be incredibly effective at improving insulin sensitivity, even more so than traditional moderate-intensity exercise.
That's a great tip, especially for busy people who might not have time for long workouts.
Yeah.
Anything else about exercise stand out to you?
What I found really interesting is that combining different types of exercise
Okay.
can be even more beneficial.
Okay.
For example, doing a strength training session followed by a short high-intensity interval training session
Mm-hmm.
has been shown to have a more significant impact on blood sugar control than doing either type of exercise alone.
So mixing things up is key.
It is.
It's not just about the type of exercise, but how we structure our workouts.
Exactly.
Now, shifting gears a bit,
I-
I noticed you also included a lot of research on ulcers.
I did.
Did anything particularly grab your attention in that area?
Well, it seems like you're especially interested in natural approaches to dealing with H. pylori bacteria,
Mm-hmm.
which your doctor mentioned as a possible cause, right?
Right.
It's smart to consider all angles.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
I am curious about ways to support that conventional treatment.
sure.
So what did you discover about natural remedies for ulcers?
There are some interesting ones.
Yeah.
You've probably heard of diglycerinated licorice, or DGL,
Right.
which is used to soothe and protect the stomach lining.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a surprising fact.
What's that?
It's not the same as the licorice candy you might enjoy.
Oh.
DGL is processed to remove a compound that can raise blood pressure.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to trade one health issue for another.
No, you won't.
Anything else pique your curiosity?
Another natural approach is mastic gum.
Okay.
It's a resin from a tree.
Okay.
It's been used for centuries in traditional medicine
Wow.
and is now being studied for its antibacterial properties,
Mhm.
specifically against H. pylori.
So chewing tree resin to fight bacteria,
Yeah,
that's definitely not something you hear every day.
it's not.
I'm also intrigued by the idea of using food as medicine.
Yeah.
So did your research touch on dietary changes for ulcers?
Absolutely. Avoiding foods that irritate the stomach lining is key.
Yeah.
That means cutting back on spicy foods, acidic foods like tomatoes and citrus fruits,
Mm-hmm.
and anything that, triggers your symptoms.
Right. So sticking to blander foods during an ulcer flare-up seems to be the way to go.
It is.
But are there any foods that can actually help heal ulcers?
There are. Fermented foods like yogurt and sauerkraut can be beneficial
Mhm.
because they promote a healthy gut microbiome,
Right.
which is important for overall digestive health.
Okay.
And broccoli.
Contains a compound called sulforaphane
Okay.
that has shown protective effects against H. pylori.
Those are definitely good additions to any diet, even when you don't have an ulcer.
Yeah, for sure.
Now let's talk about a common problem that often goes hand in hand with ulcers: stomach pain.
Okay.
And your research seems to delve into natural ways to alleviate that discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
So what caught your eye?
Well, it's important to remember that while occasional stomach pain might not be a big deal,
Right.
chronic pain shouldn't be ignored.
Right.
It could signal an underlying issue that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
But for those times when you're dealing with garden variety indigestion or gas,
Sure.
nature provides some pretty effective remedies.
Like what? Did you come across any interesting ones?
There are the classics, of course, like ginger tea,
Mm-hmm.
chamomile tea,
Oh, yeah.
and peppermint tea.
Of course.
But here's something you might not know.
Okay.
Ginger is actually more than just a soothing drink.
Okay.
It contains powerful anti-inflammatory compounds
Mm-hmm.
that can help reduce inflammation in the digestive tract, making it a true stomach soother.
Okay, I need to up my ginger game.
Yeah.
I usually just reach for chamomile when my stomach is acting up.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
What's your go-to natural remedy for stomach woes?
I'm a big fan of peppermint tea.
Yeah.
Not only does it have a calming effect on the digestive system,
Right.
but it's also been shown to be helpful for people with irritable bowel syndrome or IBS, which can often cause stomach pain.
Right.
There's even some research suggesting that peppermint oil can be as effective as certain medications for IBS symptoms.
That's good to know.
It is?
Peppermint tea is definitely getting added to my shopping list.
Good.
Now let's move on to another digestive discomfort that almost everyone experiences at some point: bloating.
Yeah.
And your research dives into natural ways to combat that feeling of fullness and pressure. So what stands out to you?
We've already talked about how FODMAs can be a major trigger for bloating in some people.
But what's fascinating is that even if you're following a low FODMAP diet,
Okay.
you can still experience bloating
Yeah.
due to other factors like eating too quickly or not chewing your food thoroughly.
That's a good reminder to slow down and savor our meals.
Yeah, it is.
Did you come across any specific techniques for avoiding those bloating pitfalls?
There's a simple but often overlooked practice that can help:
Okay.
mindful eating.
Yeah.
It's about paying attention to the sensory experience of eating,
Right.
slowing down,
Mm.
chewing thoroughly,
Yeah.
and really tuning in to your body's hunger and fullness cues.
Mm-hmm.
This can help prevent overeating, which is a common contributor to bloating.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
It's not just about what we eat, but how we eat.
exactly.
Were there any specific remedies that stood out to you for tackling bloat?
We've already touched on peppermint tea,
Right.
which is great for relaxing the digestive muscles.
Yeah.
But another star player is activated charcoal.
Oh.
You know how it's used in emergency rooms to absorb toxins?
Right.
Well, it can also bind to gas in the gut, providing relief from bloating.
Wow, I never knew that.
Yeah,
But activated charcoal can be pretty powerful stuff.
it can.
Are there any precautions we should be aware of?
You're right. It's important to use it correctly
Yeah.
because it can also bind to nutrients and medications.
Okay.
You should take it at least 2 hours before or after meals or medications. And always talk to your doctor before using activated charcoal,
Right.
especially if you're pregnant, breastfeeding, or have any medical conditions.
Great advice.
Yeah.
Now, I want to shift gears to a common ailment that affects people of all ages, joint pain.
Okay.
And I'm curious to hear what your research uncovered about natural approaches to this often debilitating problem.
Well, one thing that struck me is that joint pain isn't just a consequence of aging,
Mhm.
although it's certainly more common as we get older.
Right.
It can be caused by a variety of factors, including injuries,
Sure.
overuse,
Yeah.
and inflammatory conditions like osteoarthritis and rheumatoid arthritis.
That's right. It can strike anyone at any time.
It can.
Um, what did your research reveal about the potential long-term consequences of leaving joint pain untreated?
Chronic inflammation in the joints can lead to a cascade of problems.
Oh.
It can wear down the cartilage, causing pain, stiffness, and decreased mobility.
Right.
Over time, this can even lead to disability,
Wow.
making everyday activities a struggle.
It definitely highlights the importance of addressing joint pain early on.
Yeah.
What about natural approaches? Did you find any promising remedies that can help alleviate pain and support joint health?
You've probably already come across turmeric,
Sure.
which has gained a lot of attention for its anti-inflammatory properties.
Mm-hmm.
But here's what makes it so remarkable.
What's that?
The active compound in turmeric, curcumin,
Right.
can be as effective as some over-the-counter pain relievers in reducing joint pain.
Oh, wow.
You know how turmeric gives curry that beautiful yellow color? Well, that same compound is a potent anti-inflammatory.
That's incredible.
It is.
It's amazing how something so common can have such powerful medicinal properties.
Yeah.
I've definitely incorporated more turmeric into my cooking since I started reading about its benefits.
Good for you.
Were there any other natural remedies that stood out in your research?
Omega-3 fatty acids found in fatty fish like salmon
Yeah.
are also potent anti-inflammatories. They can help reduce joint pain and stiffness, especially in conditions like rheumatoid arthritis.
So a diet rich in omega-3s is good for our hearts and our joints.
Yeah, it is.
What's not to love?
Exactly.
Were there any other natural approaches that caught your eye?
Don't underestimate the power of simple heat or cold therapy.
Oh, right.
Applying a heating pad
Yeah.
or taking a warm bath can
Right.
help relax muscles and ease stiffness,
Sure.
while applying an ice pack can help reduce inflammation and numb pain.
Those are great tips.
Yeah.
And they're easily accessible to anyone, regardless of their health background.
Like-
Now, for our final topic in this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I noticed you included some research on constipation.
I did.
What insights jumped out at you in that area?
Chronic constipation is often dismissed as a minor inconvenience,
Right.
but it can actually lead to some pretty serious complications
Really?
if left untreated.
Whoa.
We're talking about hemorrhoids,
Okay.
bowel obstructions, and even damage to the pelvic floor muscles.
Yikes. That definitely makes it clear that we shouldn't ignore constipation,
No.
especially if it's a recurring issue.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about natural remedies.
Okay.
Did you find any that were particularly intriguing?
You probably already know that fiber is essential for regular bowel movements,
Right.
but did you know that different types of fiber work in different ways?
Oh,
Soluble fiber, found in foods like oats and beans,
okay.
dissolves in water and forms a gel-like substance that helps soften the stool,
Mm-hmm.
while insoluble fiber, found in foods like wheat bran and vegetables, adds bulk to the stool, making it easier to pass.
That's a good reminder that we need both types of fiber for optimal digestive health.
We do.
Did you come across any specific fiber-rich foods that stand out as constipation busters?
Prunes are a classic for a reason.
Oh, yeah.
They contain both soluble and insoluble fiber,
Mm-hmm.
plus a natural laxative called sorbitol.
Prunes definitely get the job done.
They do.
Were there any other natural remedies for constipation that got your attention?
Flax seeds are another excellent source of both types of fiber,
Okay.
and they have the added benefit of being rich in omega-3 fatty acids,
Oh, right.
which we know are good for overall health.
Flax seeds are definitely a nutritional powerhouse.
They are.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on the importance of a holistic approach to health and well-being.
Well, it's essential to recognize that our bodies are complex systems,
Yeah.
and what affects one part
Right.
often has ripple effects on others. Taking a holistic approach means considering all aspects of our well-being,
Yeah.
physical, emotional, and mental,
Okay.
and recognizing that they're all interconnected.
Yeah.
It's not just about treating symptoms,
Mhm.
but about addressing the root causes of health issues
Right.
and creating a lifestyle that supports overall wellness.
Beautifully said.
Thank you.
It's about taking charge of our health
Yeah.
and making choices that empower us to live our best lives.
Exactly.
So stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive, where we'll explore even more targeted natural remedies for these common ailments.
Sounds good.
Welcome back. We covered a lot of ground in the last part of our deep dive.
We did.
Now, I'm eager to delve a little deeper into some of those natural remedies you were researching.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
There's just so much to uncover
right.
when it comes to supporting our well-being naturally.
Let's pick up where we left off with stomach pain.
Okay.
We talked about those soothing teas,
Yeah.
but I'm curious about the role of diet. Did you find any interesting insights in your research about dietary changes for stomach pain?
Yeah. What we eat can play a huge role if you're dealing with indigestion or gastritis. Eating a bland diet can give your stomach a much-needed break.
I have to admit, bland diet doesn't sound very exciting.
Right.
Is it really necessary?
It might not be glamorous,
Yeah.
but it's all about reducing irritation
Right.
and allowing your stomach to heal.
Okay.
So think,
Yeah.
plain cooked foods like rice, toast, bananas, and applesauce.
Right.
These are easy to digest
Yeah.
and won't aggravate your stomach.
Okay, I see the logic there.
Yeah,
So what about foods to avoid? I imagine spicy foods are off the menu.
definitely. You'll also want to steer clear of acidic foods like tomatoes and citrus fruits, fatty or greasy foods,
Okay.
and anything else that,
Yeah,
tends to trigger your stomach pain.
right.
Caffeine and alcohol can also be irritants, so it's best to limit those as well.
It sounds like a bit of a detective game,
Yeah.
figuring out what your stomach can handle.
It is.
I know I have certain foods that I just can't tolerate,
Yeah.
especially when my stomach is already feeling sensitive.
Sure.
You've hit on an important point.
Yeah.
Everyone's digestive system is different.
Yes.
What bothers one person might not bother another.
Exactly.
It's really about paying attention to your body
Yeah,
and learning what works best for you.
it is.
Speaking of listening to your body, let's revisit bloating.
Okay.
I know you were looking into dietary strategies like the low-FODMAP diet,
I was.
but I'm curious if you came across any other interesting tips for preventing or reducing bloating.
Absolutely. While identifying and managing your personal trigger foods is crucial.
Right.
Even simple things like how you eat can make a difference.
Such as?
Like
I'm all ears.
eating slowly and chewing your food thoroughly
Okay.
can go a long way in preventing bloating when you eat too quickly.
Right.
You tend to swallow air,
Yeah.
which can lead to that uncomfortable feeling of fullness.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's almost like a mindfulness practice for
Yeah.
eating.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the importance of staying hydrated.
Right.
Water helps to move food through your digestive system,
Sure.
preventing constipation, which can contribute to bloating.
So slow down,
Yeah.
chew well,
Mm-hmm.
and drink plenty of water.
Exactly.
Got it. Now let's switch gears to joint pain.
Okay.
We touched upon turmeric and omega-3 fatty acids,
We did.
but I'm eager to learn more about how those remedies work
Yeah.
and what other natural approaches you uncovered.
Yeah, you're right. We just scratched the surface.
Right.
What's fascinating about turmeric is that it contains a compound called curcumin, which has been shown to block inflammatory pathways in the body.
Wow.
This means it can effectively reduce inflammation and pain. It's no wonder turmeric has been used for centuries in traditional medicine.
It's pretty amazing how this common spice can have such powerful effects on the body.
Yeah, it is.
I've definitely incorporated more turmeric into my cooking since I started reading about its benefits.
Good for you.
What about omega-3 fatty acids? How do they work their magic on joint pain?
Omega-3s are essential fats
Okay.
that our bodies need but can't produce on their own.
Right.
We have to get them through our diet or supplements.
Okay.
What's remarkable about them is that they have potent anti-inflammatory properties, making them especially beneficial for conditions like rheumatoid arthritis,
Right.
where inflammation plays a major role.
So loading up on fatty fish like salmon or taking a high-quality omega-3 supplement
Yeah,
could be a game changer for people struggling with joint pain.
it can.
I've also heard that an anti-inflammatory diet in general can be beneficial for joint health. Did you come across any information about that in your research?
You're spot on. Focusing on whole, unprocessed foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats can help reduce inflammation throughout the body.
That sounds like a delicious and balanced way to eat.
It is.
I know processed foods and sugary drinks are generally considered inflammatory,
Yeah.
but did you find any other specific foods we should be mindful of if we're aiming to reduce inflammation?
You're already aware of the main culprits.
Right.
But it's worth emphasizing that trans fats and saturated fats, often found in processed foods and fried foods, are particularly inflammatory.
Okay.
So limiting those is key.
It's all about making those smart food swaps to nourish our bodies from the inside out.
Exactly.
Now I want to circle back to constipation.
Okay.
We talked about the importance of fiber and mentioned prunes.
We did.
But what about those times when we need a little extra help to get things moving? Did your research reveal any other natural laxatives that can provide relief?
Absolutely. Magnesium is a great natural option.
Okay.
It works by drawing water into the intestines,
Okay.
softening the stool and making it easier to pass. You can get magnesium from food sources like leafy green vegetables, nuts and seeds,
Okay.
or you can take magnesium supplements.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I actually take a magnesium supplement for muscle cramps.
Oh, wow.
So it's great to hear that it can also help with constipation.
Double duty. Were there any other natural remedies for constipation that stood out to you?
Yeah, we're there.
Psyllium husk is a gentle and effective option.
Okay.
It's a type of soluble fiber that absorbs water in the intestines, forming a gel-like substance that adds bulk to the stool and promotes regularity.
So it's like giving our digestive system a little boost.
Yeah, exactly. Now, beyond these specific remedies,
Yeah.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the bigger picture of health and well-being.
Okay.
We've talked about these various ailments.
Right.
But how do they all connect? Are there any common threads that run through these seemingly disparate conditions?
That's a brilliant question.
Thank you.
And the answer is a resounding yes. Our bodies are incredibly complex and interconnected systems. What affects one part can have ripple effects on others.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about treating each ailment in isolation, but rather taking a holistic approach to our health.
Precisely. For example, chronic inflammation, which we've discussed in relation to joint pain, can actually contribute to a wide range of health conditions, including diabetes, heart disease, and even certain types of cancer.
That's a powerful reminder that everything is connected.
It is.
It really highlights the importance of addressing inflammation as a root cause of many health issues.
It does.
Did you find any other common threads in your research?
The gut microbiome is another crucial piece of the puzzle.
Right.
The trillions of bacteria that reside in our gut play a vital role in our overall health, impacting everything from digestion and nutrient absorption to immunity and even mental health.
Wow. I knew the gut microbiome was important.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize its influence was so far-reaching.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's incredible how our bodies are designed.
It truly is. And what's fascinating is that research is continually uncovering new connections between the gut microbiome and various health conditions.
So taking care of our gut health is a key component of overall well-being.
It is.
Now, I want to touch on a topic that often gets overlooked in discussions about physical health.
Okay.
Stress.
Yes.
I know you were looking into natural ways to manage stress.
I was.
What did you discover?
You're right. Stress is a major player in so many health problems. When we're stressed, our bodies release hormones like cortisol, which can have a cascade of negative effects, including increasing blood sugar levels, suppressing the immune system, and promoting inflammation.
It's like a domino effect throughout the body.
Yeah, it is.
So managing stress isn't just about feeling better emotionally.
Right.
It's also about protecting our physical health.
Exactly.
What did your research reveal about natural stress management techniques?
There are so many wonderful practices that can help.
Okay.
Mindfulness techniques like meditation and deep breathing can be incredibly effective in calming the nervous system and reducing stress levels. Spending time in nature, engaging in gentle exercise like yoga or walking, and prioritizing quality sleep are also essential.
It sounds like taking care of our mental and emotional well-being is just as important as taking care of our physical health.
Absolutely. It's all interconnected. And finding ways to nourish all aspects of ourselves can lead to a more balanced and vibrant life.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive, exploring natural approaches to common ailments.
We have.
And emphasizing the interconnectedness of our bodies. Ready to delve into even more specific remedies.
Let's do it. I'm eager to share some of the targeted natural approaches you were researching.
All right, so it's time for the final part of our deep dive.
It is.
We've talked about the causes of these everyday ailments, the importance of those lifestyle choices,
Right.
and just how interconnected our bodies really are.
Yeah.
Now let's zero in on those specific natural remedies you were curious about.
Let's do it. It's amazing how
Yeah.
much nature has to offer to support our well-being.
Where would you like to start?
Uh,
Let's revisit diabetes.
okay.
We talked about diet and exercise.
Right.
But what about herbs or supplements?
Mm-hmm.
Did any stand out in your research for helping to regulate blood sugar?
You might be surprised to learn that a common kitchen spice can be a helpful ally.
Okay.
Cinnamon.
Oh.
It's been shown to improve insulin sensitivity
Okay.
and could even help lower blood sugar levels.
I actually have a friend who swears by cinnamon for her blood sugar.
Yeah.
She puts it in everything.
Does she really?
But is there really solid science behind it?
There is. Cinnamon contains compounds that appear to mimic the action of insulin,
Okay.
helping your cells use glucose more effectively, and you don't need a ton of it to see a benefit.
Okay.
Even small amounts, like a teaspoon a day, can make a difference.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
What other natural approaches were you researching for blood sugar management?
Another spice,
Okay.
fenugreek, has also caught the attention of researchers.
Okay.
It seems to slow down carbohydrate absorption,
Right.
preventing those rapid blood sugar spikes that can happen after meals.
Fenugreek is one I haven't experimented with much.
Yeah.
I'll have to look into that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Now, you had some research on supplements too, right?
I did.
What were you looking into there?
Berberine is one that has shown a lot of promise.
Okay.
It's a compound found in several plants
Right.
and has been studied extensively for its potential in managing type 2 diabetes. The research suggests it can improve insulin sensitivity
Wow.
and even lower blood sugar levels.
So we have spices, supplements.
Yeah,
It's like nature provides its own pharmacy.
it really does.
Switching gears now, what about ulcers? We talked about DGL and masticum,
Right.
but did you uncover any other natural remedies for those painful sores?
This one might surprise you.
Okay.
Cabbage juice.
What?
It's been used for generations to heal ulcers.
Wow.
And modern science is starting to understand why cabbage is rich in vitamin U,
Oh, okay.
which is thought to have potent anti-ulcer properties.
Cabbage juice. That's not one I would have guessed.
Yeah, it's not the most appealing, but
I'm going to have to do some taste testing.
you should.
What about natural remedies for stomach pain in general?
Sure.
Did anything jump out at you from your research?
We already touched on ginger.
Yeah.
And it really is a superstar.
It is.
When it comes to digestive support,
Yeah.
it has anti-inflammatory properties that can help soothe the stomach
Right.
and even relieve nausea.
Ginger is one of those remedies that's been around forever, and for good reason.
It has, yeah.
It seems like there's always something new to discover about its benefits. I think we both agree that chamomile tea deserves an honorable mention here, too.
For sure.
Gentle,
Yeah.
soothing, and can help calm an upset stomach.
It can.
Chamomile tea is definitely my go-to when I need a little digestive comfort.
Yeah, mine too.
Now let's talk bloating.
Okay.
I know you're deep diving into dietary strategies,
Yeah.
but did your research lead you to any specific remedies for that uncomfortable fullness?
We've talked about peppermint tea,
Right.
but did you know peppermint oil can be even more effective?
Really?
Yeah, it's been shown to relax the digestive muscles and help reduce gas production.
Okay.
You can take it in capsules
Right.
or even just add a few drops to a glass of water.
I love the versatility of peppermint.
It is versatile.
It's like a Swiss Army knife for digestive issues.
Yeah, it is.
Anything else you discovered for bloating relief?
Probiotics are worth mentioning again here.
Okay.
They can be so helpful in balancing the gut microbiome, which can reduce gas production and ease bloating.
Okay.
You can get probiotics from fermented foods like yogurt and sauerkraut,
Mm-hmm.
or take them in supplement form.
Probiotics are definitely having a moment right now. Okay, let's move on to joint pain.
Okay.
We already discussed turmeric and omega-3s,
We did.
but did you find any other natural approaches that you were excited about?
You might want to look into glucosamine and chondroitin.
Okay.
They're naturally occurring compounds found in cartilage
Okay.
and are thought to help reduce inflammation
Right.
and even promote cartilage repair.
So they're like building blocks for healthy joints.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fascinating.
It is.
Anything else on your list for joint support?
Another one to consider is boswellia,
Okay.
also known as Indian frankincense.
Okay.
It's an herbal extract that's been used for centuries,
Wow.
to treat inflammatory conditions, including osteoarthritis.
Okay.
Research suggests that it can block inflammatory pathways in the body, which helps explain its traditional use.
It's amazing how much we can learn from traditional medicine practices.
It really is.
Okay, for our last topic,
Right.
let's revisit constipation.
Okay.
We talked about fiber, prunes, and magnesium.
Right.
What else did you find?
This one might surprise you.
Okay.
Aloe vera.
Really?
It's well known for its soothing properties for skin,
Of course.
but it can also be helpful for constipation.
Oh.
Aloe vera contains compounds that have laxative effects,
Okay.
helping to soften the stool and promote regularity.
Aloe vera truly is a multitasker. I use it for everything from sunburns to bug bites.
Oh, wow.
Now I could add constipation relief to the list.
There you go.
Did you come across any other natural laxatives in your research?
Senna is a popular herbal laxative.
Okay.
It works by stimulating the muscles of the intestines to get things moving, but it's important to use it sparingly
Okay.
and talk to your doctor before trying it, especially if you have any health conditions.
That's a good reminder that even with natural remedies,
Yeah.
it's always best to proceed with caution and seek guidance from a healthcare professional.
I couldn't agree more, and I think it's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
We've explored a lot of natural approaches to supporting well-being,
Right.
but individual needs can vary greatly.
Absolutely. It's been a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
But it's just the beginning of your exploration. Remember, knowledge is power.
It is.
And you're now equipped with a wealth of information to make informed choices about your health.
Well said. And remember,
Yeah.
small changes can make a big difference.
Right.
So pick one thing that resonates with you and start incorporating it into your life.
Okay.
You might be surprised by the positive impact it has.
That's a great takeaway.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into natural healing.
My pleasure.
Until next time, be well and keep exploring.